Now at 5, with the cold temps arriving in the 4 states, we have advice to help you prepare your pipes. Plus, we visit the grand opening of Johnny Copeland's restored Joplin home.
Battling cancer together. I'm Danya Backus with how a rare diagnosis led to a timely friendship for 2 young boys.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
The first weekend of the new year could spell troublesome for drivers. This is KOAM News at 5. I'm Tanya Bach. AAA is urging drivers to prepare for wintry conditions this weekend. And we've got our eye on the incoming storm as well. Let's go straight to Chief Meteorologist Doug Hetty for a first look at this weekend's forecast.
Yeah, overall, I think most of us are going to get fairly lucky from this storm system. By far, it's going to be the worst well to our north. Now, until it moves in, we look okay. We're sitting into the mid-40s outside right now. We will drop back into the mid-20s later on tonight, but the evening looks fine. 40s, 30s. Eventually into the 20s. But as we go into the weekend, this is when this next storm system will start to roll in. So here's Saturday afternoon. We're going to have drizzle for most of us, some freezing drizzle in our far northern counties. But most of us just get rain as we go through Saturday evening, showers, thunderstorms. But our northern counties will be getting ice through this entire event. And then on the backside, as the colder air starts to work in, then we should get a little band of snow that is going to rotate through as we go into Sunday afternoon, plus turning significantly cooler with some Arctic air. So we're going to break this all down for you here in just a bit.
All right, thanks, Doug. With colder temperatures on the way, it's a good time to start thinking about how to protect your home to avoid costly damage and to stay warm. Make sure you're keeping an eye on your pipes. Missouri American Water in Joplin reminds us you need to know how to turn off your main water shutoff valve and ensure your sprinkler or irrigation system is fully drained. Taking these simple steps can save you time, money, and the headache of an unexpected repair this season.
One thing I really want to emphasize to our customers, do not lift our meter lid, because ultimately the meter's set down in the ground, they're insulated, so when they open the meter lid and expose that meter to the cold air, it can cause the meter to freeze, which just then compounds the problem.
Missouri American also says you should wrap exposed pipes with insulation to help prevent them from freezing as well. Well, the former home of one of Joplin's most famous athletes is now honoring his legacy. A crew has been working for the past 10 months to restore the past home of Irish Johnny Copeland, who started his boxing career in 1960 as a member of the Joplin Boys Club. By 1970, Copeland turned professional, earning 26 knockouts during his pro career. Now the Joplin Icon's home has been renovated to become a memorabilia house honoring Copeland and his career.
We really feel the privilege to be doing something for the city to enrich the history of it. Because Joplin is a historic town. History needs to be preserved.
Today marked a ribbon cutting for the site. Work is not finished yet. In the meantime, organizers have applied to have the home listed as a historic landmark. We're learning more about the man the FBI says is responsible for the New Year's Day terror attack in New Orleans. Authorities say 14 people were killed and dozens more injured when a truck intentionally rammed into a crowd of people in the city's famed French Quarter. The attacker was then killed by police in a shootout. Katie Weiss reports from New Orleans.
The FBI now says the driver who plowed into a crowd of people in a pickup truck in New Orleans on New Year's Day acted alone.
There is just nothing to indicate through call records, through anything on those devices, through interviews, through anything in our systems that he was aided in this attack by anybody.
Investigators called the actions of Shamsuddin Jabbar an act of terror, saying the U.S. citizen and Army veteran proclaimed his support for ISIS in several videos he posted shortly before the attack.
In the first video, Jabbar explains he originally planned to harm his family and friends, but was concerned the news headlines would not focus on the, quote, war between the believers and the disbelievers, end quote.
The FBI searched Jabbar's house in Houston Thursday. Among the victims killed in the attack were 28-year-old former Princeton University football star Tiger Besh and Reggie Hunter, 37-year-old father of 2. Back in New Orleans, Bourbon Street reopened to pedestrian traffic Thursday afternoon ahead of the start of the Sugar Bowl, which was delayed a day because of the tragedy.
No terrorist is ever going to derail life in the United States. And I think that's what we want to do today is really enjoy this game in memory of those people who lost their life.
We have a record of being able to show we can provide safety, and we're going to do that again.
Police say they've ramped up security, including adding heavier equipment to block the intersections. Katie Weiss, CBS News, New Orleans.
The FBI says agents also found 2 improvised explosive devices that Jabbar had placed in coolers near the scene. Both were rendered safe where they were found. Federal investigators are looking at an explosion in the back of a Cybertruck outside President-elect Donald Trump's Las Vegas hotel as a possible act of terrorism. Police say multiple accelerants were placed in the back of the vehicle. There's also an investigation to see whether the Las Vegas attack is linked with the New Orleans incident, because there are some overlapping coincidences, but no link has been announced as of yet. Still ahead, the safest ride.
Consumer Reports is out with its list of the most reliable vehicles, including the Toyota RAV4. I'm Bradley Blackburn, and I'll tell you which automaker came out on top.
But first, in Health Watch, cases of norovirus are surging in parts of the United States this winter. We've got tips on how to prevent it and what you can do if you do get it. Topping today's Health Watch, cases of the stomach bug norovirus are on the rise in parts of the U.S. Recent data from the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention show there were 91 outbreaks the week of December 5th, up from 69 the last week of November. Symptoms can include vomiting and diarrhea, nausea and stomach pain, body aches, headache, and fever. The illness is highly contagious and not easily treatable.
There's really no specific treatment for norovirus. The key is to stay hydrated. So especially little infants, the elderly may have trouble keeping up with that. So that is the key to treating this.
Preventing norovirus comes down to washing hands well, not preparing food if showing symptoms, and cleaning surfaces with disinfectants. Leaders at the National Institutes of Health are calling for more action on bird flu. The agency says dozens of people in the U.S. contracted bird flu in 2024. A study of those cases shows symptoms were mild. However, scientists are concerned about a case in Canada where a teen became seriously ill. In that case, the teen's heart, lungs, and kidneys failed, but she recovered after nearly 2 weeks in the hospital. The researchers are concerned the virus, which comes from wild birds, may be adapting to people, and that could increase the possibility of a person-to-person spread. The Food and Drug Administration is now testing cheese made from raw cow's milk for potential bird flu contamination. At least 300 samples will be collected nationwide over the next 3 months. The search for the H5N1 virus is expanding after an outbreak in multiple states linked to raw milk and dairies. Well, 2 young boys share a special connection. They became friends while battling the same cancer and then undergoing the same ultra-rare surgery. CBS's Danya Bacchus has their story.
I'm better at sports. Okay, I'll do sports.
Competition between 11-year-old Noah and 10-year-old Wally helps to keep them going on days like this when they have physical therapy. Oh! The two forged a unique bond, meeting at Children's Hospital Los Angeles as they were undergoing treatment for osteosarcoma, a rare and aggressive bone cancer that accounts for about 3% of all childhood cancers.
Treatment for it is pretty intensive. Kids require, somewhere between 6 to 9 months of chemotherapy and usually a big surgery.
The surgery Noah and Wally had is called rotationplasty, which with a prosthesis turns the ankle joint into the knee joint. Dr. Alex Christ is the boy's orthopedic oncologist.
We remove that part of the leg with the tumor. We keep just the nerves and blood vessels that go down to the distal part of the leg. And we actually put the leg on 180 degrees backwards. So the foot is actually pointing backwards.
Noah and Wally had their surgeries 2 weeks apart. While cosmetically challenging, rotationplasty prevents the need for more surgeries as the boys grow. Their parents leaning on each other as they navigate the extremely rare cancer, even rarer surgery and treatments.
What are the odds for them meeting? They have the same Same diagnosis and same type of surgery.
It's good to talk to someone who's going through something, the same thing you're going through. I mean, the exact same thing we're going through.
A camaraderie that extends from patients to parents, bonded by the journey to becoming cancer-free. Danya Backus, CBS News, Los Angeles.
Noah and Wally have gone through cancer relapses and continue to receive treatment and physical therapy, where they've made significant progress in getting adjusted to their prosthetics. We'll need some motivation to quit smoking for your New Year's resolution. Here's some. A new study out of England suggests a single cigarette cuts about 20 minutes off your life expectancy. That means a pack of 20 cigarettes per day works out to be nearly 7 hours of life lost per pack. Now, the researchers from University College London found on average, people who smoked throughout their lives lost about 10 years of life compared with people who never smoked. That's a look at today's health news. A little later, Consumer Reports is out with its list of most reliable vehicles. Find out which ride earned the top honor.
Plus, we're going to break down our weekend storm system moving in. We'll look at that coming up. Well, definitely turned out to be a little bit on the chilly side for us today. Temperatures, they were kind of cold, only into the mid-40s, but right where we should be for this time of the year. Nice shot, Indigo Sky Casino and Resort. Indigo's just outside of Seneca, Missouri. All right, through the evening hours, kind of in and out of the clouds, we slide back through the 40s, 30s. Eventually, we drop back into the upper 20s later on tonight. We have a weak little wave, a couple little sprinkles have popped up. So we may get a random sprinkler or two, but that's just about it. Most of this is going to fall apart over the next couple hours. A little band of snow rolling across northern parts of Illinois. Our next storm system now just moving in to the Pacific Northwest, and this will be a big weather maker as we head into the weekend. So let's start to look at it. For us tonight, clouds clear. Later on tonight, mid-20s. So it is going to be cold. As we go into your Friday, by noon, upper 30s to near 40. Once we get into the afternoon, about 42, 43 degrees, 39 in Stockton, 45 in Anderson, 46 in Bonita, Chanute, 41 degrees. As we go into tomorrow night, clouds increase. By Saturday morning, we'll start to see a little bit of drizzle developing. So you can see a little bit of pink, a little bit of green. So drizzle starts getting going, so here's about the noon hour. You can see we're at the freezing line from I-44 north. So any drizzle that does form will be icy as we go through Saturday morning. Good news is temperatures continue to warm as we go through the afternoon. So now we pop into lower 40s near that freezing mark in our northern counties, but we'll continue with the drizzle. As we get into Saturday evening and Saturday night, this will really start to expand. So here's 8 p.m. Notice our northern counties stay kind of in that pink, meaning freezing rain. And then showers, thunderstorms develop. Here's midnight Sunday morning. Again, northern counties stay in the ice. Everybody else just rain. So there's not going to be any slick spots at this time. As we continue into Sunday morning, again, northern counties in the ice, everybody else, showers and thunderstorms. And then once that colder air starts to work in on the backside on Sunday, this is when we'll see a transition from rain over to a quick burst of snow. Sunday afternoon into Sunday evening, plus our temperatures are really going to drop. The winds are really going to pick up. All right, ice potential. Really from Joplin north, under 1/10 of an inch, not that many issues. But our northern counties could see upwards of 1/2 inch of ice. So that is definitely going to cause some issues. Snowfall potential on the backside on Sunday. I think most of us will stay under 2 inches. So it doesn't look like a huge deal, but if you're traveling north, that's where the heavier amounts are going to be. So we are going to see some road impacts. I don't think it's going to be awful, but some road impacts. Plus our wind chill. The winds are going to be howling, so we're going to have wind chills below 0 by the time we head into Monday morning. All right, so let's go for tomorrow. 42, 39 Saturday. Possible alert day on Sunday just due to that snow in the afternoon. 45 and dropping, a high temp of only 26 on Monday. So it gets much colder.
Yeah, it sounds like an icky weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Might have to bundle up and stay inside.
There you go. It's a good idea.
All right, thanks, Doug. Well, as the possibility of winter weather nears, we do want to remind school, government, and church officials to test their KOAM closings login. You can find that information and more by scanning the QR code on your screen or going to koamnewsnow.com/closings. Coming up, Ford issues a major recall of its diesel F-Series trucks. What you need to know after the break. Is there audio on this? Okay. Or I guess there wouldn't be with the phone. Topping today's Consumer Watch, there's a lot to consider when buying a new car, including finding one that's not going to break down. Bradley Blackburn takes a look at what experts found searching for the most reliable vehicles.
At the Consumer Reports test track, John Linkove analyzes all types of vehicles, and on this day, he's taking the Subaru Forester for a spin.
People love their Foresters. They come back year after year, generation after generation.
The Forester is one reason why Subaru tops the list of Consumer Reports' most reliable brands.
This year, Subaru has climbed to the top of our brand rankings, and they leapfrogged Lexus and Toyota. Subaru really has a strong lineup in terms of reliability. They keep what's great, and they made a little bit of change over time.
Toyota may have slipped from the top spot, but the automaker still has several of the most reliable vehicles on the road, including the RAV4 and the RAV4 Hybrid.
They're just building it well, they're not making massive changes, and they're just keeping focused on it.
Electric vehicles did not fare well for reliability. Consumer Reports says EVs have 42% more problems than hybrids and gas-powered cars. Tesla ranks 17th on the list of brands, and Rivian is at the very bottom. Linkove says people who want an environmentally friendly car they can count on are better off with a hybrid.
Hybrid is a known technology for almost every manufacturer, and they really are reliable. In fact, hybrids tend to be the better performing version of a model.
Linkove says it's important for car owners to do their research, not only to find a reliable vehicle, but to make sure it's the right fit for you. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News, New York.
Although electric vehicles did not perform well overall, the Nissan Ariya and the BMW i4 did receive high marks for reliability. Well, Ford is recalling nearly 300,000 diesel-powered F-Series trucks. According to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, the vehicle's fuel pumps may fail and cause a loss of power, increasing the risk of a crash. Ford says so far it is unaware of any accidents or injuries caused by the issue. Owners of the recalled vehicles can get a free repair at a Ford dealership. And Braga Fresh has issued a voluntary recall for 12-ounce bags of its marketplace ready-to-eat broccoli florets due to possible listeria contamination. Produce was sold by Walmart stores with a Best Buy date of December 10th, 2024. Now, the FDA says all of the affected items are past their expiration date and are no longer on store shelves. Anyone who still has the recalled broccoli should throw it away. I bet it doesn't look good by this point, though. The U.S. stock market will be closed 1 week from today, January 9th, in honor of former President Jimmy Carter. That's the date of Carter's state funeral in Washington, which President Joe Biden has also declared as a national day of mourning. It is tradition for the markets to close to honor the nation's leaders. Earlier this week, the New York Stock Exchange also held a moment of silence for the 39th president, who died Sunday at the age of 100. A final check of your forecast is next. Up next on the CBS Evening News, the latest on yesterday's Cybertruck explosion outside the Trump Hotel in Las Vegas. New clues as investigators sift through the ashes. And then on KOAM News at 6, tips to keep your pets hydrated and safe this winter. Plus, Missouri Highway Patrol releases its annual New Year's Eve traffic crash report. And Pitt State basketball plays for the first time in a few weeks. Stay with us for the CBS Evening News and then KOAM News at 6. Final check of the weather?
Yeah, it stays cold for us tonight. Maybe a few sprinkles through the evening hours down into the mid-20s. 42 tomorrow, 39 drizzle on Saturday, thunderstorms Saturday night and then rain to snow on Sunday.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us. The CBS Evening News is next. And of course, we'll be right back here for KOAM News at 6, and we'll see you then. Have a great evening and an even better tomorrow.